to introduce our student activist awardees today, and it's a special pleasure. They are both young, free-thinking activists working to keep religion out of our public schools and social policy, and both have made international headlines last spring in organizing high-profile walkouts at their respective high schools. Both are receiving $5,000 scholarships from FFRF, and Dan and I enjoyed the opportunity of interviewing both of them remotely for our TV show, but we are extra excited to meet them in person here. And it's a thrill to see this level of activism, and I'm going to introduce them one at a time. And first we will hear from Will Larkins. He led a walkout of 500 students against Florida's Don't Say Gay law at Winter Park High School. It was called Say Gay Anyway. He also testified in person before the Florida legislature to try to stop this punitive measure by Governor DeSantis. His moving guest essay, which we did reprint in Free Thought today, titled Florida's Don't Say Gay Bill Will Hurt Teens Like Me, was published in the New York Times in March. Since then, Will has been in constant demand. He's 17 and he's a high school student, but he's been on the road and in demand to speak to media and groups. I even recently turned on PBS NewsHour. There was the poised Will in person in the studio talking, and he has a full schedule after this conference. He is an atheist, naturally, and he is president and co-founder of the school's Queer Student Union. He's a rising senior. Please welcome the 2022 Catherine Faringer Student Activist Awardee, Will Larkins.
Oh my God, I forgot my cowboy hat. That's so exciting. I have a pink cowboy hat over there, and I was gonna walk up and be like, howdy y'all, I'm in Texas, I'm ready to mess with it, but I forgot it, but that's fine. Hi guys. So, my name is Will Larkins. I use any pronouns with respect. I'm a 17-year-old senior in high school from Winter Park, Florida. I'm one of the student leaders fighting Florida's Don't Say Gay bill, and I'm a plaintiff in a lawsuit challenging the law. I've spent the last 6 months focusing on my high school classes while simultaneously advocating for the LGBTQ+ community. I was in biology honors when I found out my op-ed was published in the New York Times. I missed junior prom because I was speaking at Harvard Law School. And last month, I was working on college applications in Washington, D.C. in between meetings with legislators and with the White House. The first time I said I was non-binary out loud was on the floor of the Florida State Senate. I was thrown into activism and advocacy out of survival. Being outwardly gay and non-binary, I have faced bullying, discrimination, harassment, and threats to my safety almost my entire life. Being filmed at lunch, threatened in school bathrooms, and getting called slurs in the hallway is a daily occurrence for me at Winter Park High School. Go Wildcats. It's not uncommon that these bullies bring up scripture after telling me to kill myself or calling me a slur. I reported everything I experienced to my administration and was met with only victim blaming and homophobia. A year ago, in October 2021, my friend group and I attended a Halloween party, actually a year ago exactly today. We attended a Halloween party and we were surrounded with a group of guys from my school. They hurled vile, unrepeatable, awful insults at us. We were compared to pedophiles, had our appearances insulted, and were told that we were going to hell. Yeah, we were the ones in this situation going to hell, okay. Then we were told that if we did not leave, we would be beat up. The school took no action, so we formed the Queer Student Union with the goal of protecting and empowering students at Winter Park High School to make sure that they don't have to deal with the same hate that I did. We went on to lead the biggest walkout in Florida. At 9 a.m. on March 7th, 2022, 500 students walked out of class chanting "We Say Gay" and "Trans Lives Matter." I stood in front of the same school that had broken me down so badly that last winter I almost ended my life and led a protest of hundreds. Hit it, Bruce. I think the most beautiful part of this walkout to me was that previous to it, being queer at Winter Park, we felt like we were the minorities, that the hateful people were the majority. But this proved to us that we were the majority, we just weren't being loud enough. There was a cultural shift at Winter Park High School after this. We're living in an unusual time in history. For the first time ever, LGBTQ plus people are mainstream and people en masse are questioning the legitimacy of religion. It's been strange growing up, seeing my classmates, family, and friends become addicted to their phones while watching every generation develop a different relationship with social media. For the first time ever, the average citizen is exposed to people, cultures, and lifestyles across the planet, while at the same time, algorithms are putting people in echo chambers and allowing them to be radicalized by disinformation. But these technologies of mass communication are the vessels that Gen Z will use to change the way that the world works. From an early age, I knew I was different. I was not interested in the things other boys my age did, and I did not feel comfortable in the clothes my parents bought me. The struggle for acceptance was not just internal, though. It also felt as if my classmates didn't know what to make of me. And by 4th grade, I was fully convinced that I was broken, which is something no 4th grader should have to deal with, but is pretty normal for the queer community. I didn't know how to defend myself when other kids made hateful comments or bullied me. I didn't know why I was the way that I was, and without the vocabulary to articulate why I felt and acted like this, I assumed what they said about me was true. Most of the bullying I faced over my lifetime has been disguised under the false pretense of religious love. It's frankly disturbing how many times people have called me faggot or told me there was something wrong with me and then followed it up by, "Oh, no, it's just my belief." Okay? Or, "I'm trying to help you." In no way was making me feel unsafe in my school, in my community, and bullying me to the brink of near suicide helpful. No. Religion gives these people an out. I vividly remember visiting St. Augustine in middle school and having an adult man approach me and tell me that I was sick and could be saved. Adults affirming the idea that queer young people are broken causes irreparable damage and scars that will never fully mend. You know, I feel for these people though. I mean, being religious kind of sucks. Living with hate in your heart isn't easy. Okay, I have a story to tell you guys. This past July, I attended a rally in downtown Orlando for LGBTQ rights. I was wearing a really cute skirt, some glitter, some fun makeup. You know, I look cute. And a Christian woman and counter-protester walked up to me and I kid you not, started crying. She literally got down on her knees, praying and muttering about how the world's ending and tears rolling down her face. Imagine living a life where you see a cute, fun, queer person, in public, and you cause yourself so much distress you break down crying on the floor. That sucks for her way more than it sucks for me. Religion served its purpose. It gave humanity an explanation for existence and consciousness, but now we have modern science, and that's shown us that we just don't know what life is. Like, we're just all here, we're humans, that's weird. Death exists, that's also weird, and we just don't know what that means, and we should accept that. Religion takes away our ability and our right to explore spirituality by our own volition. Now, religion is a tool used by fascists like Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida and Texas Governor Greg Abbott to uphold systems of oppression, reinforce the heteropatriarchy, and target LGBTQ plus children. Here's a fun fact for you. Queer teens are 4 times more likely to die by suicide than their straight counterparts, and Florida has the highest rate of LGBTQ suicide of any state in the US. Yeah. Queer people make up 40% of the teen homeless population while only making up 5% of the general population. This is a direct result of Christian and Muslim religious dogma. As the president of the Winter Park High School Queer Student Union, I frequently meet queer students who cannot be themselves at home because their religious parents would become angry, abusive, and even kick them out and force them into homelessness. In fact, last year I had a friend and a member of Queer Student Union who was outed as trans to his family and who promptly threw him out because their own child's existence goes against something they chose to believe. We can't let this normalized abuse continue. So I just wanted to say thank you all. Thank you all for working so hard to dismantle belief systems created to harm us. Thank you for being on the front lines of this fight for our right to free thought. Thank you, Annie Laurie, and everyone at Freedom from Religion Foundation for the scholarship, the invitation to speak, and the absolutely vital and indispensable work many of you do. Together, we will create a world free from the grips of religion, a world where no child will ever have to fear God because they were born queer, a world where true equality reigns. Let's come together and create a world driven not by religion, not by politics, but by peace and by love for one another. Thank you all, and I love you all.